There are no Negro leaders in San Francisco that you feel
Well,
have
there are
any
a few. There are a few.
Do you know any?
No, I don't know any. But the ones that get up there, they don't want to help nobody.
You know no one has ever helped you?
No, nobody with authority. Besides my parole officer.
Well, even the least damaged of those kids would have to put it as mildly as it can be put at the moment. Would have to be a little sardonic about the things he sees on television, what the president says, and all those movies about being a good American, and all that jazz. And you look at this, look over there, look up here, and he would despise the people, you know, who are able to have such a tremendous gap between their performance and their profession. But the more damaged kids simply feel like blowing it up. Simply feel like blowing it up. Speaking only for myself, you know, I feel a little sardonic. I'm civilized, I think. But there's a time in my life when I would have felt just like blowing it up. What's more crucial, what's more terrible is how, since one's in the main left alone in terms of any help you can get from the country in this effort, how you get through to the least damaged kids. And I don't know what I could say which would make any sense to them, because in fact this does not make any sense.
Now, with all of these beautiful buildings, now they're going to be ringed in by hostile people, just like you have in New York.
Hostile and frightened people.
Right.
Because they don't want, they walk down the street and wonder why the first Negro boy they see looks at them as though he wants to kill them, and if he gets a chance, tries. And it's because he can't go to Asia, you know. He can't, it's because he can't, he has no ground to stand here. The cat said yesterday, I got no country, I got no flag. And it isn't because he was born paranoid that he said that. It's because the performance of the country for his 18 years on Earth has proven that to him. Now, how one manages to make these people, these blind people, begin to see. I'll tell you something, baby, about that building. It has absolutely no foundation. And it really does not have any foundation. It's going to come down, one way or another. Either we will correct what's wrong, or it'll be corrected for us.
And this is
What was that?
the St. Mary's Cathedral. This bomb building here.
Yeah.
I mean, not bomb, but I mean this
Well, it looks like
fire.
a bomb.
That was a fire. But this is going to be torn down, but this will not be the site of the cathedral. They're going to change it.
Really, it's horrible to look at.
Oh, yeah. This was started one night. They had some of the kids were having a dance in the downstairs basement. Didn't take it very long. They just gutted the whole thing. But as a result, the Catholic Church was able to raise $15 million to build another cathedral.
Some people know how to make it. I was raised a Christian. You know, my daddy and my mama were very religious. Many of the white Christians were not Christians because of the way they treated black people. And the Christian church in this country has never, in my experience, never as far as I know, been Christian. The record is much more than shameful. The record proves that as we stand here as of this moment, the Christian church is bankrupt. There's not a single person I could turn to if I were trying to deal with one of those boys we were talking to yesterday. If I tried to tell him to go to church or even suggested the name of Jesus Christ, he spit in my face. And it's not because he doesn't like my face. It's because of what white Christians have done and do and now deny. All of these churches are absolutely meaningless. They're almost blasphemous. If they don't mean it, they should say so. Christianity has become a kind of social club. You have to have a membership card to get in. And black people can't have a membership card. Actually, Christianity at the moment looks rather like that church. That shell.
The God shop. I mean, what place?
Oh, the God shops. I think the God shops, I know the God shops are there to console a whole lot of desperate people. What we can here call the failure of Christianity, really. You know, people in the God shops are there Because it gives them one of the few places they can go to find any way of getting through their day. Dealing with the landlord and pawnbroker and the children and the whole horrible complex of forces which bear you down every day. One can no longer accept this whole notion of heaven later, concentration camp here. Oh, God. Next to the Morning Star Missionary Baptist Church.
Yes. This is one of the real little God shops.
White people have always thought that Negroes in churches singing and dancing and praying meant that they were really quite simple-minded and happier than white people. What goes on in those little God shops, is exactly the same thing that's going on now in the Muslim temples. But no one has ever made that connection.
Off to our left here is one Negro hotel. That's all.
The only Negro hotel here?
Yes.
It's called the Booker T. Washington?
Yes.
Naturally. This is the street that all Negroes are born on. The street all Negroes have to survive. Booker T. Washington, the Baptist Church, and the mosque. There's really a great history, a great thing to be summed up in that if one could.
Looking at this street now, the Booker T. Washington Hotel, I mean, what comes to your mind about some type of music or some passage from the Bible that describes this?
Sing the Lord's song in a strange land? I don't know. I'm sure those cats across the street can dance like, their white counterparts can. And the reason they can is because in a way they must. It's got to come out somehow. And the pressure is great enough, it has to come out in a certain kind of... Negroes have great style. I think this is true, even if it sounds chauvinistic. And white people don't have much style. And one of the reasons the Negroes have a certain style is because they are aware of the conditions of their lives. They can't fool themselves about it. And when a Negro laughs or tries to make love or eats or dances, it's a kind of total action. I don't mean this way white liberals are immediately going to think I mean it. I don't mean that they're more sensual, more primitive, more spontaneous, and all this ethnic jazz. I mean that they live on another level of experience, which doesn't allow them as much room for make believe as white people have. Every American black man knows that there's something that American white men are in the grip of some extraordinary sexual paranoia. And they really are. What that comes from is probably a story for some other time and place. In any case, such a long and terrible story and so complicated that one couldn't begin to discuss it except by examining, if you like, such things. Well, we read Huckleberry Finn. We read William Faulkner. The range between black and white men in this country has always been the most extraordinary. At once, there's something real in it, and a terrifying invention in it. And it goes all the way back from the first time any American started writing. It has something to do with the Indian. If one could crack that nut, really, open that can of beans, if one could